If you love messy hearts, power, and secrets that explode in public, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Comment real bride if you think he's telling the truth. Now breathe. This is my story. I step into the chandelier light the way a shadow steps onto a stage, late, awkward, and with the wrong confidence. The Grand Hanul Ballroom is all glass and glitter tonight. The city of souls spilling itself into every pane. Men in tuxedos are statues. Women in silk move like names you know by sound. I am the only person here who came in cargo pants, a paint-streaked tote, and a suitcase that claims I'm a visiting set designer, not the accidental intruder I am. Excuse me, I tell the receptionist, because manners are the thing I still own when everything else feels slippery. I show the wrong address on my phone and a trembling message from my friend Amina. The elevator dropped my script. Please get it, it has her number. She tells me the wrong building and I follow a trail I don't understand. That's how accidents begin, small, obedient. That's how my entire life tilts. A string quartet is playing something slow as ice. Servers move like they were taught choreography. I can smell orchids and a perfume that costs more than my first apartment. I am walking toward the glitter, toward the wrong exit of my wrong elevator, and then the room breaks in a way no ballroom is built to do. He is on the dais. Not yet the groom, but close enough. Han Yun-woo. The name is on the invitation that later I will pretend not to have read. Everyone says Han Junwoo like a currency clipping in the mouth. He is all slate jaw and tailored shoulders and a laugh that belongs in a different century. The woman at his side is Soo-yeon, a porcelain thing in a dress that captures light and keeps it hostage. They are smiling at everyone like owners of a household photo. I did not come for him. I did not come for any of this. I came for Mina's script. I came to fix a mistake. I came with the leaky optimism of someone who believes a thing can be returned and the world go on being ordinary. Then Mina appears beside me, breathless, a dress tucked awkwardly into a taxi story. She clamps her hand over my mouth as if I am a child making a scene. Ami, don't, she whispers. My name sounds small in her mouth, and for a second I remember all the reasons I like small things. They are easier to fold into pockets. I should obey, but something inside me remembers Junwoo's face from a photograph Mina slipped into the script. A younger Junwoo, softer, at a park with a woman who looked like she could be me. A memory that was never mine nudges awake, like a phone vibrating. I step forward anyway. I cross the room and as I cross, the jazz cadence in my chest speeds up. People whisper. Cameras turn. He watches me the way a man watches a storm move in, with a look that is equal parts hunger and calculation. Who is she? Someone hisses behind me. I smile the way you smile when you know you're about to fall and want the moment to look pretty. He meets my eyes like recognition is an act of violence. Junwoo's hand, that sculpted, ruthless hand, lifts like a signal. The room tightens. He walks down the carpet toward me with the quiet certainty of someone who owns the map of every move he makes. You, he says, and his voice is small like a confession. Amina. My name tastes foreign in his mouth. For a heartbeat I am a child again on a Brooklyn stoop. Hair in braids, explaining the color of my sister's dress to a man whose voice made something in me go still. I step closer because my feet have a memory he doesn't. Mina. I lie, and I am suddenly 1,000 little things I told myself I was not. I'm just. His jaw clenches. He takes my hand like he's claiming a claim and the entire room inhales. The spotlight follows his fingers. I feel them. An old warmth and a brand I thought cold and gone. Everyone, Junwoo says, and the microphones lean as if to drink the sound. This is Amina. She is my. He pauses and I see for the first time that confusion on him is an inside joke we are all missing. My real bride. The phrase detonates. For one wild second, the laughter dies in the throat of the woman beside him. Soo-yeon's face is a mask cracking. The guests pivot, gobsmacked, champagne stopping mid-pour. Cameras begin to click like a left-right of panic. Junwoo, someone shouts. What are you doing? I can feel every pair of eyes on my skin. For a second I do not know if I am hung or rescued. Junwoo does not back down. His hand tightens around mine, and whatever memory has joined our palms glows hot and true between us. You know him? Someone breathes to Soo-yeon and her smile falls apart. My presence becomes a weapon and I, bewilderingly, remember the night. Years ago, in another city with different lights, Junwoo had been a man without a throne. We had met at a charity show, coffee and conversation. A night where neither of us protected ourselves. He had told me then with soft arrogance that he would go far. I believed him in the way people believe weather reports with tentative hope. Then he left. No number, no note. Just a silhouette and a name that grew bigger than the hand that had held mine. 10 years is a measure you can fold up and keep in a pocket. It does not die, it waits. And when it returns, it comes with a whole coronation in its wake. The groom's best friend, a man named Park Hyun-soo, steps forward with a forced smile. Junwoo, this is a bad joke, right? Junwoo's voice becomes a blade. There are no jokes tonight. He looks at me the way a man looks at his missing piece. Amina, you disappeared when I needed you. I promised myself I would find you. Soo-yeon is white as the silk of her gown. Her gloved hand finds Junwoo's elbow like a drowning woman clutching a rope. Junwoo, we planned this is. Her words are porcelain shards. I want to tell them all. I am not a missing piece of anyone's puzzle. But his hand around mine pulses with the memory of a kiss under rain, and a vow whispered between two imperfect people with no kingdom. The room listens because power loves theater. Junwoo leans into the mic again. I will answer questions after, he says to the room, and there's the CEO in him again. The man who can stage a crisis and sell truth as spectacle. Right now, Soo-yeon, please forgive me. I need to speak to her in private. Soo-yeon does not leave. She squares her shoulders, eyes glittering like a blade. We're in the middle of our engagement party, she says, and her voice is a knife. You can't. I can, Junwoo replies, and his hold on my hand becomes an argument. He guides me off the dais into a corridor where the walls have the soft hum of air conditioning, and the distant music distorts into something like a heartbeat. The bright room drops away, and for the first time since I walked into this wrong building, I am only Amina and Junwoo, the man who once kissed me. You disappeared, he says, quiet. 10 years. You vanished from my life like a meteor. I left, I tell him. You left me. He laughs, then the sound jagged. We can argue about whose exit was ruder later. Right now, tell me why you're here. I want to say I am here because Mina's script sent me, because I was wrong, because the city is too small for secrets. Instead I say, Junwoo, you don't get to announce things for me. He exhales a small, unreasonable thing. I don't always get what I want. But tonight I want the truth. Before I can answer, his phone buzzes. He reads it and his face changes color like a photograph left in sun. He looks at me with a sharpness I've never seen. It's Kadir. The name lands like a stone. Kadir. The man I once loved and fled. The man with a past that lives in the shadows of things you do not want to look at. Kadir, who left scars on me I pretend are map lines. Kadir, who has a way of coming back when you think the coast is clear. Kadir. I say. The word tastes like ash. He's back in town, Junwoo says. And he's not the kind of man who likes being ignored. I remember Kadir. Wide shoulders darker than evening, a smile that could rearrange your bones. He had been kind in private and brutal in public. I had left him because his kindness taught me how to read violence. I had left because I could not bear being the piece in someone's power game. I didn't tell him anything about you, Junwoo says, and I realize he doesn't know half the story. But he knows you. No, I tell him. He knows what he thinks he owns. Junwoo's hand squeezes mine. Not in demand but in an offer. Then he'll learn tonight what owning you looks like. His voice is confident, but in the soft of his eyes there is terror. I can see the calculations working, security details, exit routes, reputation burns, but also a primal urge to protect. I find my chest answering him the way a canyon answers thunder. We return to the ballroom because drama has a habit of dragging you back into the light. Soo-yeon is on stage, eyes hard. She does not forgive. Her attention tastes of rumor and fine powder. The guests are a cluster of gossip and waiting verdicts. Junwoo lifts the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, he says, and the room leans. Soo-yeon and I have known one another for years. We were friends, then we arranged a marriage that made sense to both of us. But tonight the truth is complicated. Soo-yeon and I. He looks at the woman beside him and he says it like a test. We wanted the world to believe in a simple story. But life is never simple. He turns to me like a man revealing the final act of a play. Amina is here because she is the woman who taught me how to be real. She is the woman I loved and the woman I have been trying to find. Gasps Royal. Suyeon's cheeks burn. Some people call it bravery, I call it damage control. Junwoo is not only confessing, he is issuing a challenge. The room tightens as if expecting fireworks. Instead, a hush falls that smells like a storm before the rain. And then Kadir appears. He is not subtle. He arrives with the kind of swagger that means trouble is wearing black on purpose. He strides into the room like a headline. For a second the ballrooms feel small and the air too thin. Guests part like reeds, whispers unspooling into questions. Kadir, Junwoo says, tight as wire. The word ripples across the room. Even the quartet pauses, and their violins hold one long note like a held breath. Kadir's smile is sun on glass. He crosses the floor and looks at me like a man looking at a possession he thinks never quite belonged to him. Then he lifts a glass to the crowd, and the toast is a blade. To old promises, he says, and heads turn because secrets have appetites and people love watching appetites fed. Suyeon's face is a poem of betrayal. Hyunsu steps in front of her like a shield. Junwoo's jaw is a locked gate. I am in the center of this orbit, a satellite with no physics to hold me steady. Kadir moves to me with a gentleness like a trap. He takes my hand and lifts it to his lips. You left, he says. I gave you everything. Where else would you go? For freedom, I answer, and the words are louder than I expected. For a life not owned by someone else. His smile narrows. You can't walk away from history, Amina. Not from me. You can't keep people hostage with your memory, I tell him. My voice is steady because I have practiced leaving in the lonely hours of my life. You can't make decisions for me. The ballroom is suddenly a courtroom. Junwoo steps forward. And in the way he looks at Kadir I understand the danger has nothing to do with money. It has to do with who decides whose life is plotted. Kadir, Junwoo says, cold and deadly. Leave now. You don't belong in this room. Kadir laughs, a sound that doesn't sit right among crystal and silk. This room belongs to men who can buy silence. He sweeps his eyes over the crowd. But tonight I'm buying the view. The threat hangs like a wire. Someone at the back of the room gasps. I can see cameras sliding toward us, hungry for the next frame. I think of all the ways this night could end. With a fight, with a scandal, with an arrest. I think of Junwoo's hand in mine. I think of Suyeon's eyes. I think of Kadir's jaw. Then a shot echoes. It is not near us. It is behind the stage, a single clean report that makes glasses tremble and causes a scream to rip free. People duck. Chairs scrape. Security moves like an organism. Kadir's face goes blank for a second and then becomes a mask I don't know. Junwoo's hand turns into a pistol grip. Suyeon is frozen, and in that second our lives divide, before and after the gunshot. Someone falls and shouting fills the ballroom. I see blood like time stopping. Junwoo pulls me close with a speed that makes me dizzy. He shields me like I'm the only brave thing in his life. Kadir's smile dies and is replaced by a fury that is monstrous and very small. In the chaos, a hand. Not Junwoo's, not Kadir's, a stranger's hand. Clamps my wrist and draws me toward the back exit. Miss, come with me. The voice is urgent, male, and there is an accent I cannot place. I look back. Junwoo is shouting my name. Suyeon looks on as if this is a play she cannot yet leave. Kadir is moving toward the door with an army behind him, and the lights are crazed with blue and red. The last thing I see before I am pulled through the back is Junwoo's eyes. A promise, a warning, a claim, and Kadir's hand stretched out like a question. The doors slam behind me. Noise floods my ears. The street is cold and empty like a stage after the audience has left. Someone shoves a coat into my arms and a car speeds away. The city roars past. My heart is a drum that will not stop. My phone is dead in my pocket, and Mina's script is forgotten on the table where the champagne still trembles. I do not know where we are going. I do not know if Junwoo will follow. I do not know if Kadir will come for me tonight or tomorrow, or whether Suyeon's rage will make a different kind of weapon. What I do know is this. I stood on a dais and was called something that could overturn a life. I stood in front of men who trade in power and promises. In a world where a name can start a war. I stood with Junwoo's hand in mine, and the world shifted so fast that I felt the earth tilt beneath my feet.